Alhamdulillah, salatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah. All of us have seen videos and stories that really inspired us, to do something. That one moment that hits you like, wow, I want to do something like that. That person is awesome. I recently came across a person like that. Her name is Jessica Jackley. You've probably never heard of her. She was an average person like you and me. She got a college education, had a nice job, a steady job, but something was killing her inside. She felt that whenever she donated money, it was as if she's buying the right to continue her life. She used to see the problems around her, and to get rid of that guilty feeling, she would give money. So she felt like she was buying the right to continue living by giving money. And that was eating her up inside. So what she did one day, she quit her job, and she decided to travel. So she went to Africa, to Asia, countries all over the world, and what she did was talk to people that we see as needy and poor. She just went to them and listened to their stories. She didn't try to give them anything. She didn't try to ask them for anything. She said, tell me your story. And all she did was listen. Every day she used to listen to 25, 30 people telling her their stories. And she just listened and listened and listened. That's all she did. And after months of traveling and listening, she said, I learned two things. One is that people who we see as needy and poor have more potential than we can ever imagine. That these people are amazing people, and wealth is not directly proportionate to IQ. That these people we see living below the poverty line, they have IQs higher than you and I. They're smarter than you and I, and then they have better ideas than you and I. But the problem is that they don't have access to the same resources that you and I do. So what she did is something amazing. She started a program where she used to lend these people small loans, microfinancing, you've all heard of it. $25, $50, $100. She had a website set up, lending and borrowing. It started in 2005. It's 2012 today. She processes over $150 million in loans last year. $150 million in loans. And the website is called kiva.com, kiva.org, Kiva.org. What amazed me was not these numbers, and the fact that she had a 98% repayment. The people that she should give the loans to, they would pay back 98% of the time in 200 countries around the world. That didn't amaze me. What amazed me was the premise that she started with. She said, the people that we see as needy and poor, we never interact with them, so we don't know their potential. So she built this on a premise that these people have potential, I have to take it out of them. That's the premise that she built it with. And this inspired me. I was like, wow, that is amazing. Anyone hearing that story, you'd be like, wow, within 7 years, $150 million. And benefited people in 200 countries around the world. Now, I reflected on our situation, Muslims specifically. Our systems of social services evolved because of necessity, not because of planning. The social services that we have today, they evolved because of necessity, not because of planning. There were mosques, and there were Muslims, and there were needy Muslims. They have to give their zakah somewhere. They have to go somewhere to get help. What's the first thing that comes to mind is the masjid. The masjid was forced to become the center for social services. And people who were not qualified to run these systems were forced to do so. So after decades, 2 or 3 decades, we have systems that, in my opinion, are not even close to what they're supposed to be in the potential that they have. They're mostly ineffective and run by people who are not qualified to do so. Now, my advice today is 2 things to any Muslim organization or any masjid that deals with financial assistance or social services with people directly. I have 2 pieces of advice to you. That is my talk today. The first one is have a goal. Most of our social service systems don't have a vision. They don't have a goal. And I'll tell you what to make that goal. That goal is to extract the benefit out of the people that are coming to you for assistance. They're not people who are in their situations because of their own doing. They're not people from the same walk of life. They're different. They're people from all spectrums. Your goal should be, whoever comes to me, I'm going to extract the potential out of them. I am a potential extractor. That is the goal. That's number one. Have the goal of extracting potential, not of giving handouts. And the second thing is the profession of social work and nonprofit management. I know of 4 Muslim social workers in the entire US, 2 of which are in Houston, 1 of which is in this building. Most people don't know that social work is a career, it's a profession. You have to go to school to get trained. You have to be licensed in order to practice social work. It's ridiculous sometimes. We walk into a masjid and it says counseling available on these days. And who is it? Some high school kid who's very religious. I guess you could actually get into trouble for doing that because he's not qualified in any way, shape, or form. Social workers are trained in methods, in laws, in systems, in methodologies of how to provide direct services to people. Having a good heart is not enough of a qualification. All these people doing it are great. May Allah reward them. But they need people who are qualified and will take it to the next level. Not only in social work and direct services, but people who manage nonprofits. There's a fundamental difference in a for-profit and a nonprofit. What are the laws? What are the systems? How do they work? Within social work and within nonprofit management, there's such a broad spectrum. All of us deal with specific spectrums. People who are not trained in this will not take it anywhere. And that's why you see there are Muslim organizations who specifically offer social services, 20, 30, even 40 years. And by the grace of Allah, some agencies, they've been around for 4 or 5 years and they serve past what these agencies did in 30 years. Why is that? It's because they put people in the right places. They understood the system. They're trying to understand the realm of social work. And I'm going to end with one point. The area of social work and nonprofit management is something not actually encouraged, but it's discouraged in our circles. I'm talking specifically about the Muslim community. If all else fails, if you couldn't get into med school, if you got an engineering degree, you couldn't find a job, if you couldn't do pharmacology or pharmacy, now go help someone join a nonprofit. When is the last time you heard someone say, my goal is to work for that nonprofit? Never. I've never heard of that. My goal is to work for that nonprofit because they do amazing work. I'm inspired to be like them. So those are my 2 pieces of advice for any Muslim agency involved in social work. Have a belief that you are potential extractors and understand that social work requires professionals, so bring in professionals. By low estimates in Houston on a monthly basis, low estimates, we give about $50,000 to $60,000 of financial assistance, only in the Muslim community. $50,000 to $60,000. Some masajid alone give $20,000 of assistance per month. I wouldn't say that's money wasted, but it's very close to that. Because when you're giving all this financial assistance without the idea that I'm going to extract these people's potential, where's that money gone? It's gone nowhere. It's gone nowhere. Be potential extractors and understand that we need social workers. They're an important part of this world. They are the people on the front lines. Jazakallah khair. Barakallah fi.